Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Vortex Racing Network's production of the Bonfire Premier Cup. It's the First Responders Children's Foundation 200 live from Dover Motor Speedway. The Bonfire Racing League is in season number 14, and it's race 4 of our 12th race regular season. We're 3 wide in the booth tonight. Mean Gene Money here. I've got Smokin' Joe, and I've got Johnny Replay. We're getting ready to see 200 laps of excitement here at the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. Hey, Joe, how are things looking on your side of the booth?
It's looking very interesting here for today. Dover is one of those tracks that's always very difficult for the drivers to figure out. As you can see in the background as people are wrecking here towards the end of practice. Very difficult, very tight, and it's very easy to get in the wall coming out of the corners. So we'll see how these guys are able to navigate a tough racetrack with a pretty decent track temperature of just over 100 degrees as well.
Overcast too. That's going to help the boys out a great deal. 1 mile concrete, 24-degree banking. Still going to expect a lot of tribulation out there for the drivers. Early in practice, David Medina Sr. looking like the guy to beat, running that 23.103 practice time. Jason Landry, second fastest. How about Tommy Fox out there putting up great numbers? Jake Ashea, Brandon Shelton, also some of the names up there at the top of the practice board. Let's go back in time, though, and think about last week. The boys were at Kansas, 28 drivers do battle. And what did we see? We saw Jason Landry come back and get that win, punching his ticket into the playoffs alongside Brandon Shelton and David Medina Sr. Thing is, Landry now creeping up that leaderboard, jumping up 8 spots. Not sure if that championship for the regular season going to be in his grasp. Missing a race is going to be tough, especially when you're trying to overcome drivers like Medina, like a Brandon Shelton, and even a Kevin Kyle off to a great start. And then don't forget Mr. Consistency, Joe Volpis as well, continuing to put up those podiums. Last week, David Medina Sr. got that second place finish. Joe Volpis finishing third. Story, though, had to be, how about David Owens leading all those laps, winning stage 1, ran into a little bit of a problem, though, come the end of last week, Joe.
Yeah, he just had a tough break there as we were having a little technical problems again, trying to just show the schedule for everybody for these first couple weeks. Kansas just kind of got very, very crazy there towards the end of it. Saw some guys get caught up in a big wreck there towards the end that really shook up the point standings as well there, Mean Gene. You saw those guys, Eric Gambrell, Jared Kelly, David Owens, and a bunch of others get caught up in that big wreck at the end of the race, and it really shook up those point standings after the race last week.
Yeah, but guess what? We got a great replay guy if we happen to have those incidents here today, and it might be on the schedule considering we're on a 1 mile track here today. Johnny Replay down in the pits. Johnny, what's the feeling like down in the pits? You've run Dover before. What are the drivers thinking? What are going to be some of the problems they might run into? Is it tires? Is it gas? Or is it the outside wall?
I think it's going to be a combination of all those things. I mean, I love Dover personally. It's one of the tracks that I started kind of really fine-tuning my driving skill. And it's always the exits that just get me, especially coming out of 4, where you feel like you're confident enough. You know you have to let it drift a little bit, but just sometimes those instincts get to you and you just go straight into the wall and have to make these poor guys repaint it.
We've seen a lot of that happen before. You're hitting your marks, you're racing the track. All of a sudden, you get side by side with somebody else, and you think, oh, maybe I'll just go a little deeper in the turn. Or as Johnny just alluded to, I'll just get on that throttle a little bit quicker. What happens? You go for a ride, and you need paint not only on that wall, but you need it on your car as well. Qualifying underway here. Of course, all these boys doing battle for the Sim Racing Nation Pole Award. That's right, Sim Racing Nation is sponsoring our poll again here today. Thank you so much to Jason Landry for that sponsorship as we see fellas laying down laps, seeing what they can do with it today. Also, speaking of sponsorship, next week, Chicagoland, still looking for a sponsor. You want to be a part of the Bonfire Race League. There's many ways to do it. Of course, you could participate as a driver. You could come on out, get on one of the open teams still recruiting, or you know what, you could be a spotter for somebody, or hey, why don't you go ahead, jump on the sponsor boat. Plenty of room here for everybody to come out. Today, of course, is the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. Great foundation, great charitable organization, sponsored here today by Brandon Shelton. Appreciate him coming out and sponsoring those kids. Rick Mandela out there on the pole now, Captain Animal House Customs. This guy, he's still downshifting, Joe. A lot of guys going to fifth gear. This guy's still making use of fourth.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if that's going to be a really great strategy for the race here today. I don't know if it's going to do him much good for one lap pace either. Looks like for the first lap, not really. Slots him into 10th for right now. I really don't think shifting, though, is going to be a great idea for the tires. And you can see you got the wall attitude. That's exactly why. I think shifting and going into that high of revs is just going to make the car get even tighter with the wheel spin. And that would be what I would be concerned about.
And seeing it there, more and more drivers going to fifth gear. During the week, a lot of different strategies attempted, spoken about, hypothesized, and theorized. But here we are at the moment of truth, and looks like more and more going with the fifth gear run. David Owens right here also can see that he's running in fifth gear. David Owens last year took the win at Dover, so this is a fellow we expect to show some great speed. Jason Landry finishing second last year at Dover. David Medina Sr. finishing third. It was Landry who led the most laps last year, so the Canadian gonna have a chip on his shoulder, but we are expecting David Owens to do great battle with him. Kyle Lynott 14th today here, not what he was looking for. I think he's got one more lap in him, Joe.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to get any better here on the second lap. Looks like he's trying to do that diamond through the corner, let it slide up towards the middle, and then get a good run coming off the corner. And it looks like it's going to be good enough to get him 10th here on the board for right now.
Faster time has to be happy. He was a little quicker in practice. Looks like across the board, most of these drivers were faster in practice than qualifying. Track has nice overcast, but still posing its own difficulties. Here's Jason Landry, last week's winner. Also one of the quickest in practice. Last year, again, led the most laps, came up the bridesmaid to David Owens, so the 56 going to have a lot to prove here today. Other big news, Landry without his teammate, no Jared Kelly today. He will still have Paul Ferdiani with him, the Ignition Point teammates, but no double nickel here today. Landry, waiting for this thing to come up on my grid here. Fourth, that's a nice run.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's running fastest on their first lap. And right now there's two cars right now that we see that haven't put down a lap time yet. So we'll see if they actually do or not. Right now that's Tommy Fox, Stephen Neal. Everybody else has laid down a lap time to this point.
I think Tommy Fox is about as consistent of not qualifying as anybody out there. Tommy more than happy to start in the back of the field where he can see everybody and then show that consistency that he has proven to possess lap after lap, race after race. Let the wrecks unfold in front of him, sneak on by, and battle for that top 10, top 5 position. Tommy Fox always in the hunt at the end of each and every race, that some crazy knucklehead doesn't come and coconut head him right in the side. So almost wrapping up qualifying here. A little bit of time left, Joe. But as you said, I think that's going to be about it. Up at the top, looks like David Medina Sr. will be our pole winner. So congratulations, David Medina Sr. is going to be the Sim Racing Nation Pole Award winner. Sim Racing Nation, it is a great network of fellas and women getting together to share setups. They talk about how the track treats them, the different gear you can run. Just a great community of drivers to be a part of. Sim Racing Nation Pole Position Award gonna go to David Medina Sr. here today. 23.212 gonna take the pole. Great lap there by David Medina. So I guess after that, do we have a little start your engines out there, Joe?
Yeah, we do for this series. We do.
Oh yeah. Why don't we fire up them boys?
You got it.
Good morning, everybody. Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR and Fox. You know, America's crew chief. Welcome to the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. You know the deal. All right, all right, all right. Drivers, start your engines. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go iRacing.
And we're back. Thank you, Larry McReynolds. That's America's crew chief right there, giving us the go. Thanks, Kevin Kyle, for hooking that up. That is nice to see him out there. What'd you think, Johnny Replay? Did you think you'd ever be part of a broadcast with Larry McReynolds?
I didn't even know who Larry McReynolds was until the last time I was here.
Beating has
and I realized
ensued.
I had to go look that up real quick, make sure people wouldn't be mad at me once they asked me who that was. And now I do know.
Oh, race is delayed by 5 minutes as every pit crew beating on Johnny Replay down in the pits right now. Pole position goes to David Medina. He's going to have that number 9 starting in the first place position. Kevin Kyle going to join him on that front row. Folcom teammates. Hey, let's make it a 3-way Folcom gang as Brandon Shelton going to start third. Second row outside lane, Jason Landry going to have that number 56. Jake Shea, great run there by the 77. Going to start in 5th. David Owens going to be in 6th. Last year's winner starting number 8 outside of the 3rd row. Hey, here's some teammates on row 4. Eric Gambrell going to be in that 848 Pony Up Motorsports ride. Outside him's going to be Jerry Rose, the number 51 Ford, starting outside on lane 4. Former teammate Jax Duvall, now the captain of Florida Man Racing, going to start in 9th. Outside him, Jose Medina in 10th. Hey, Pony Up got 3 boys up in that top 10. Good job, guys. Joe Fopus going to be starting in 11th. He is now with Animal House Customs. And former teammate Kyle Lynott going to start outside row 6 in that number 988 Ford.
Going further back through the field, row 7, we see Michael Sara. He's looking like he's getting ready to rock and roll here for the race here today, alongside Ricky Mandela Sr. Rick Modric is going to start in 15th alongside Paul Ferdiani. Starting back on row number 9, you got Tim Darby and Todd Dunn. And then a few more cars rounding out the field here for today. We saw Wayne Newman qualify 19th, just in front of David Brenner, who will start 20th. He was the last one to put down a lap time. Tommy Fox, Stephen Neal decide not to put down a lap time. They will start on the last row together to round out the 22-car field here today.
2 cars preparing to do battle here today. This is race number 4 of our 12-race regular season. It is a win and you're in situation, but what makes this one kind of fun, Joe, the points, the extra season points, hard to come by. There's no points for leading a lap. There's no points for leading the most laps. So you want extra points here. You need to finish in the top 10 at the end of the stage, or you need to win and beat the other drivers upon completion. 200 laps scheduled here today. There will be a caution stage break at lap 75. So that'd be a good time to make your way to the top 10. Tires and fuel, not enough gas to make it to the end if we go green. How's that going to affect some strategy, Joe? You think folks might take some tires early, or you think they'll push it hoping to save a set?
Well, you know, with the 4 additional sets of tires, it should be easy here to see that kind of a strategy play out. If it goes green, I think most of these guys are going to split this stage in half and then take those tires at about lap 40 or so. It all matters on how the way this race starts out, how these guys get going from the green flag drop on through the field.
Hopefully we won't have a replay of last year. Remember, last year the thing went green and a lot of people spun their tires. This track, a little bit difficult out there on that first restart. So assuming today we're going to get to see more and more green flag racing here. 200 laps scheduled for the first responders. Children's Foundation 200 live on the Vortex Racing Network. The pace car is off, waiting to go green, looking at David Medina on the inside, rolls out of turn number 4, keeping an eye on the flagman. Oh, and look, they're wrecking, Daryl. Just like last year, all these cars involved. Looks like Joe Volpus. Landry gets through clean, but look at that. Jake Shea, Paul Ferdiani, David Owens, Kyle Winott facing the wrong way out there. Looks like Duval, the 51 of Gerald Rose. Lots of people. Look at Brandon Shelton, week 2 winner, also off to a slow start. What happened out there, Johnny? That was about as wild as it gets.
Oh, I got that ready for you right here whenever we can pop that up. All right, so here we go. Put that in slow-mo for you.
There you go.
As they're coming up, it looks like just a huge magnet pop out of nowhere where all these guys just turn right.
Oh my word, that almost looks synchronized, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back a little bit. If I can get a chase somewhere around Duval, I think that he was right in the middle of that. I think that's going to give us a great angle of a synchronized, what would you call that? A hard right?
A hard right. Go chase right there. Oh, let's go back a little bit further.
Yeah, so we look good. We're go green. Everybody's in second gear. Let's shift to third, see what happens when everybody hits third gear. Amazing. It looks like a parking lot. Oh, and there's Jose Medina makes contact, gets around the wrong way. Duval into Gambrel. Look at that, 3 pony-up cars all together. Nobody's going to like paying that bill.
And then this one's my favorite. Linot rolling backwards, and Stephen Neal right in the back just watching everything unfold.
Him and Tommy Fox got to be high-fiving each other as they chose not to qualify, not to be in that mess, and now the 45 and the 57 have to feel like they outsmarted the rest of the field as they avoided. I can't even call that a lap. Look, he's not still backwards on that replay, as they didn't even make it to the start-finish line, Johnny. Just had some amazing insanity there. Just like last year, same thing happened here at Dover. First start, people hit the throttle and just got around the wrong way. Up front, David Medina still going to be controlling this thing, waiting. Some cars did choose to come into the pits. Nobody taking tires, of course, but had to get an eyeball and see what kind of damage they took. Only 11 guys stayed out, 12 through 22, coming down to get some repairs. Linot and Tim Darby still in the pit as we are bringing it out of turn 4. Lights off on the pace car. Would be expecting us to go green here unless they're going to extend it one more lap. So many cars are still trying to get this thing straightened out.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite. Just a little quick side note on short tracks. I love to do that strategy of not qualifying, just staying in the back. I mean, very smart on those guys to do the same thing too. It just seems like the better option, in my opinion.
Seemed like the brilliant thing to do here today, watching that early. Oh, and look, still getting loose. You could see Linot catch up to the field there on this restart. Came in a little hot, hit the brakes, got sideways again. Crazy action. Pace car is off now, waiting to go green. Away we go, and we are now official. Oh, Jake Shea off to a slow start. Gonna get backed up there with the rest of the pack. Medina now finally clears. Got a nice 5-car lead over Joe Vulpes. Jason Landry in third, and Rick Modric gonna be in fourth, up 11 positions in that 913 Chevrolet. Finally rolling here at Dover in the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. And after lap number 5, that's going to be David Medina Sr. in the lead. Behind him, Joe Vulpes making it roll, spread out about 4 car lengths back. 4 behind him, Landry, and about 4 behind him, you've got Rick Modric. Then Paul Ferdiani going to be in 5th. Jake Shea 6, Rick Mandela 7, Wayne Newton 8, Jose Medina 9, Eric Gambrell 10. We're rolling now, Joe. They finally got that little kerfuffle figured out.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy how the start of that race went. All those guys spinning their tires. It really has shaken up the way this race is going to play out to the stage. With the stage break, of course, being on lap 75 here today, that's going to create some interesting strategy for these guys now. With the fuel being able to go about that 66 to 70 laps, I think these guys are all going to try and make it to the end of the stage without having to pit.
What will the tires have to say about that? Biggest losers after that incident got to be Jerry Rose, down 11 spots. I'm hearing from the pits he's got 7 minutes of damage on that Ford. Kyle Lynott being shown a lap down, 9 positions down in 21st. Looks like Tim Darby still in the pit, getting that 13 worked on. Biggest winners, how about Rick Modric and Paul Ferdiani, up 11 spots, running 4th and 5th. Rick, of course, still running that 913 number, looking to get a 2-digit next week. And Paul Ferdiani, 2nd place last week, chasing down David Owens in the Truck Series. So guy has put down some great laps, Paul Ferdiani. Hopefully that momentum going to carry over for that number 33 Toyota driver.
Yeah, we'll see how it really starts to play out for him. Looks like Ricky Mandela might be having some connectivity issues there, running in 6th place. Might create some action going on with those guys back there. So right now, looking at the front, David Medina, he's pretty much taking control of this race. Since the green flag, he was able to avoid getting involved in that chaos there on the first lap. And to this point, he's pretty much taken and set sail to the rest of the field. Vulpes trying to stay close to him there in 2nd. Looks like Landry might be struggling a little bit here early on. Not as close as I would have expected him to see to those front 2. He's running a couple tenths off David Medina's lap times right now. So we'll see if he's able to get that sorted out, or if he's just trying to save tires and get something for the long run.
Wonder, Joe, is he already counting backwards after that initial accident, giving them a few laps under the caution? But Landry not coming down into pit, so he doesn't have the 2 extra laps of fuel. So we'll see what the Canadian does as this continues to develop. I mean, you can have the best laid plans of mice and men, but nothing like a caution to throw all of that out the window. Medina, though, no change to his plan as he continues to lay down heaters with Joe Vulpes creeping up behind him. Kind of hard to save fuel when you got a guy like Joe Vulpes on your 6. No points for leading laps, though, so I don't think Medina, if Vulpes got too close, probably would just let him go and race the track to see how far he can stretch this fuel. Lap 40 is what you said earlier, Joe, about coming in to take you some fuel. We'll see how that develops. We are under lap 15 here at the First Responders Children's Foundation 200 live on the Vortex Racing Network.
Yeah, so the whole thing with the strategy kind of got blown up in the everybody's face there when they all flew to the outside and caused that first caution. I was thinking they were going to pit about halfway through the stage for tires, not for fuel. The fuel can go 66 to 70. I thought the tires may be an issue where these guys might want to undercut, make sure they're staying on the freshest stuff. But that caution, some of these guys might be able to stretch it to the stage break here without pitting at all, which, as you know, Mean Gene, with the way pit road is, only 35 miles an hour speed limit down there, you could lose easily 2.5 laps just running around, getting your pit stop done. So a lot of time saved if you're able to make it to the stage break without pitting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the times of pit lane time. Kyle Lynott, he was in the pits 5 seconds, yet he had a 43.87 pit lap time. That is 2 laps. So if you're coming down to get any type of fuel or tires, you might even find yourself in there for over a minute, 54, 53 seconds. And if that's the case, that's 2.5 laps. Oh, Tim Darby having a little bit of an adventure coming out of turn 4 down there. I think he's testing the integrity of that inside wall.
Yeah, I think he's having some trouble. He got some damage fixed. Maybe didn't get it all fixed, and he's still struggling with it. I think he's going to come back and pit and get some more of it fixed here. Maybe went out a little bit too soon with what was fixed and needed to wait a little bit longer.
The unfortunate reality of this track is you only have such a short moment in the pit. You feel the cars coming back around. You want to get back out there. Sometimes easy to jump the gun and have the crew send you out a little bit too soon. Last lap there for David Medina, 24.18, 7/10 of a second slower than his fastest lap. So we're already seeing a little bit of that tire degradation costing drivers speed, but he and Vulpes continuing to stay relatively close. Jason Landry falling off. You mentioned that earlier, Joe, was can Landry get this thing back together? Not too much of a fall off, though. Landry continues to only be about 1.7, less than 2 seconds behind Medina, still in striking distance. Rick Modric, Paul Ferdiani, and then the Pony Up boys of Jose Medina and Eric Gambrell making chase. And then, hey, let's look at some Folcom guys, right? You got Brandon Shelton back there. He's our Echo Park winner in week number 2. And then Kevin Kyle behind him knocking on the door as well. So Folcom having good representation, 3 of their cars in the top 10.
Yeah, a lot of parity going on throughout the field here. These guys' lap times are not very far off the leader. They're only 2/10. So I don't really think they're losing as much time as we would have thought that they would have been losing. So very interesting just to see how it's all going to play out here and what these guys are going to do going forward.
It's out there on the track. Looks like the 77 of Jake Ashea having a little bit of difficulty. Not sure if it's with his tires or if he took a little bit of damage, but you can see Ashea, who qualified 5th, fading back to 20th, and he is a full second off. Oh my, even more so that last lap than the other cars on the lead lap. So now Jake Ashea being shown a lap down. Maybe he's the first guy trying to stretch it out, Joe.
Yeah, and it looks like the 11 car had some issues with his computer, and looks like he may have gotten the inside wall. Has some serious damage to that car right now.
Oh no, so that is Joe Vulpes was running second. He is our current points leader in the regular season based on the consistency of all those podiums. And yeah, you can see that car looks broken as now Ferdiani, Medina, and Shelton getting by. There goes Gambrell and Kevin Kyle, David Owens going by. So that 11 of Vulpes having serious issues. Johnny, can you get a little rundown on what happened? Can you find what happened to the 11 back there?
We'll look for that right now.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Joe Vulpes, a guy that's always at the top of the points. now having a little bit of an incident. Yeah, I'm hearing it on the radio. He had some kind of latency issue. Going to cost that 11 as he is just trying to make his way around. 26.72. That is 2.4 seconds slower than the leader that last lap. Meanwhile, leader still booking it around. Going to eat up Darby there on that lap. All right, let's take a look at that, Joe.
Yeah, let's take a trip down memory lane and see how I could have turned the wheel better. Just go straight.
And he looks good and just wacko, the Sacco Award. Yeah, Joe Vulpes.
That's what happens when you can't tell where you're going, and just misjudged where to hold the steering wheel in order to not go to the left, and ended up in the inside
really
wall.
Unfortunate right there, yeah. So a little bit of lag, latency issues, takes the 11 into the inside wall, and have to see what he can do with that as the day goes on. We've been running green for a while now, so tires and fuel getting burned here at the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. David Medina is your leader here on lap number 32. Tell you what, this might be as good a time as any. How about we give a shout out to one of our sponsors here? You got the old KK Woodworks in your pocket, Joe? I see. Well, all right, so we're working on that right now to see when we can pull that up. David. How about that? Let's go to a nice crank it up with the 9 of David Medina Sr. To you by the Bonfire Racing League. David continuing to build that lead. Jason Landry took over second place after we saw Joe Vulpes with a little bit of a latency issue. Brandon Shelton now being shown in third, and you can see that little group right there, third back. That is for position. Brandon Shelton leading that group around. Nice little pocket of cars you can see all the way back to, oh gosh, I guess even Tommy Fox and Stephen Neal all in that lead group. Then there's a gap back to Duval Brenner as they try to make chase as well. Real story though, Medina, he's lapped up to 18th Joe Volpus did end up going a lap down to David Medina. So these boys better get to moving or they too could be victimized here. I think next on the list for Medina going to be the 51, creeping up on that Bellini's 51. So he's going to have to find a little more speed out of that Ford. Wayne Newman ahead of them. This thing's going to get tight, Johnny. There's a lot of action on the track, but most of it is spread out at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like all these guys kind of not scared, but like, you know, a little shocked from that first lap. They're trying to just all run their lines. At this point, why fight?
Yeah, you don't want to get on that throttle too early. That's something that we saw happen to guys earlier, and now they're doing a really good job of just putting down lap times. Last lap for our leader, 24:34. So about 0.8 of a second slower than their fastest lap. So still trying to put down as much lead as they can. And Landry, he's running about the same as his leader, so he's not fading away as Landry finally does make his way around, or Medina makes his way around that 51. Next up on the hit list would be the 808 of Wayne Newman.
Yeah, looking at the lap times of Wayne Newman, it's not going to be too long till David Medina gets there. About half a second slower that last time. You can see he's got about half a straightaway until he's going to be in his crosshairs. And with only 30 to go in the stage here still, if there's no cautions, he's just not running fast enough in order to hold off David Medina from lapping him at this point.
Yeah, David really putting down laps. You can see why he is one of the top drivers in the league. He's got his skills on display here today, ripping it going into turn number 3 here at Dover. Landry trying to make chase, but just going to have difficulty. Now Landry looking to get her way around the lap driver. 51 goes high, lets Landry right on by. Good work there by the second year 51 driver. How about Rick Modric? This guy right now running in 4th. Got to be thrilled with what he's doing. He does have Kevin Kyle chasing him down. David Owens as well. Ooh, Kyle a little loose out of that turn. Gets his momentum back, but great run here so far by that 913 Chevrolet. Think this is his 3rd race. Be curious to see what number he's going to pick next year or next race. Eric Gambrell in that 846 also a 3rd race participant, so we'll see him switch over here very soon. And Wayne Newman in that 808, who we just talked about, he too will have the opportunity to switch over.
Yeah, so looking through the field, you know, actually he just highlighted the biggest mover of the race to this point, and that is Rick Modric. Started back in 15th, so started deep in the field, was able to avoid the lap 1 chaos, and now is running in the top 5, putting down some pretty decent lap times for this point in the run. You might be just a little bit, maybe just a tick slower than the 2 behind him, but if he does a good job here with the arrow push and everything, it looks like he's going to let Owens go by here maybe, or he's going to try and use the outside to hold on to 4th. Now he's going to let him go here out of 2. I think that's just a strategy of maybe making sure he has enough fuel here. Doesn't want to push it too hard. You know, you want to make sure you take advantage of where you're running and see the end of the race to the finish.
It's a question of tires, I would think. You can watch the temperature of your tires on your telemetry, but no real clue as to how much wear is on them until you bring her into the pits. David Owens and Kevin Kyle now making their way around Modric. And you can see the lapped car of Kyle Lynott coming into the picture now. Lynott did come in just for some repairs, but running 25.06, he is a little quicker than most of those cars that he is around. So not going to be surprised to see that 988 continue to creep forward he would be in the running, but not quite up there as we have seen now. Ooh, 14 cars remaining on the lead lap.
I think that was Tim Darby having another issue. Maybe not. I don't think this track's agreeing with him. We know how tough the Monster Mile can be. I think Tim Darby. I don't know if he got it all fixed. I have to believe he got it all fixed, but that right front still looks pretty messed up. Maybe he has some unfixable damage, and they're not gonna pull that right front fender back out, and it's creating some issues for him to get around the track the way he wants to. Doing his best here, though, to troop it out to this point. We got a problem with one of our lead lap cars there. Paul Ferdiani was running up front. He's on pit road here with 20 to go in the stage.
About that time to come in and maybe get you some fuel or maybe tires. You don't want this thing to go flat. Now, meanwhile, look at Medina as he's going to put Duval a lap down as well. Going to make only 13 cars on the lead lap. Got to be cautious when you go by the Florida man. He might give you a souvenir on that left rear quarter panel just to remember him by.
Yeah, there goes another car lap down. Yeah, that's what I was about to say to you there, Mean Gene. I think some of these guys, you know what I'm seeing here? Oh, boy. As they get in front of the 56 of Landry there. Very, very scary. I think what you're seeing is, you remember that race a few weeks ago in real life, Mean Gene, at Bristol?
Yep.
Where the tires decided to start courting and fell apart on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're starting to see a little bit of that happen with some of these guys. Jax Duval, Stephen Neal are running very, very slow lap times for where they would normally be running. If you look, 25.2, that's a second off the pace for Duval. I can't remember the last time I saw Duval a second off the pace of the leader. If we look at Stephen Neal behind him, he was running a second and a half off the leader. I don't think I've ever seen Stephen Neal that far off pace either. These guys usually within a couple tenths, if anything, of the leader. Very, very competitive with the lead group, but they are struggling hard right now. I mean, like, they're really struggling. 26 flat last time for Stephen Neal.
Be the story of the day. Plenty of fuel, but you need more rubber. Luckily, a Bonfire Race League officials did give the extra set of tires to accommodate, but the top drivers right now, Landry and Medina, not suffering quite as much as the others. Even looking back to third, you can see 0.2 of a second slower was Brandon Shelton than the leader. So Medina and Landry trying to make it work, whereas the others struggling on these older tires. Here's Stephen Neal into the pits. He's going to go ahead and get some fresh Goodyears on there before this thing gets any worse for him out there on the track. Still 11 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think Joe Volpes, to add insult to injury, just blew a right front tire from all the damage to the left side of the car. So insult to injury to the 11 car here today.
For our current season points leader. No win yet, so he doesn't have the guaranteed ticket to the playoffs, but with the consistency he's shown up on top of the leaderboard. Volpes in the pit, waiting to see who will be next on My Car Needs Tires. 11 cars on the lead lap here on lap number 63. David Medina continuing to have that 2.5 second lead over Jason Landry. Looks like Tommy Fox is the next contestant on You're Going a Lap Down. A little bit of a lead for Fox, but he's fighting at 25.3. That's a full second slower than Medina last lap.
Yeah, and he's been fighting his way through the field too. With all the passing that's happened, he's now actually become the biggest mover of the race. 21st to 11th. Remember, he didn't put down a qualifying time. I think he's just gonna fall victim of there being no cautions after that lap 1 chaos. Just not able to get through the field the way he wanted to. It took too long for him to really start evening out speed-wise, I think, with the leader of Medina here, because look at that, he's only 3/10 off right now. But you need to be 3/10 off when you're, you know, in competitive distance of the leader. You know, back where like Sheldon is like half a lap down. You know, these lap times he's running right now would be really beneficial. But right now with where he's running, as he makes the pass there on Gambrel, I think these, man, I don't know how many of these guys are gonna fall a lap down. Look at them. They're all right in front of him. I see Jose Medina, Modric, Mandela. I see him a little further up, and there's Sarah. He's in the picture with us, along with Tommy Fox. And you saw Gambrel just go a lap down, so only 10 now on the lead lap.
Medina came in hot, almost contact there with Tommy Fox, manages to keep it on the straight and narrow. Meanwhile, Wayne Newman did make it into the pit in the 808. Looks like now the 51 coming in as well here on lap number 65. And yep, he's got a blown front right tire, the 51 does. So I think we're going to see some of the younger drivers suffering from some serious tire wear, as that's the second car we've had reported a flat tire.
Yeah, and look at this though. The stage is really starting to come to a close. So if these guys don't have enough tire or fuel, it's going to really show. Like you mentioned, Jerry Rose with his issues, he's on pit road now. I think that might be more damage inflicted than anything else. You can see the left front and the right front are a little caved in on this car right now. So probably similar situations to Voltas, where the damage just created too big of a problem for him. But I mean, look at that. Oh, here comes Gambrel. I believe he just came down pit road with a tire problem. So that's a tough break for him as well. Wayne Newman, he's coming back down pit road here. A lot of guys pitting here, and there's only a couple left in the stage. So, man, this is the worst time to really have to come pit. And look at this, your leader's going to come pit here, Mean Gene.
You said it's the worst time, but with the leader coming down, I'm gonna go double down and say it's the best time. Really, it's the best time if David Medina is doing it. If Landry comes down next, you know it was the right time. Boys just seem to be running it as long as they could, but at some point, you know, tire's gonna come into the picture. Maybe fuel also, since we are on lap number 71. We will be taking a caution at lap 75 for the stage break. Tough break though for those boys that can't make it to the end. Landry has lapped up to 7th position. Only 7 cars remaining on the lead lap, and Jose Medina only about 15 car lengths ahead. You can see him already coming into the picture there across that start finish line. Mandela slightly ahead. Modric making good time out there to try to push that lead a little bit further. Rick Modric 19 seconds behind. But I would say Medina, and yep, there goes Medina. He's in the pit now, going to go a lap down. 6 cars on the lead lap. Boy, if Landry could make it to the end of this stage, Joe, that's going to be something.
Well, he has no choice now because pit road is closed. He's going to have to serve a big penalty if he was to pit, and that's for everybody else as well. So very, very disappointing just the way that this race has played out for a lot of these guys. David Medina, you see him, he's in 9th, trapped a lap down right now. Jason Landry pretty much has a stranglehold on this as we're on the white flag of the stage here, and Landry could pretty much just coast to the stage win.
Point driver as he finds his way up into the front there soon. Here we are, lap 75, about to come to the close. And there she goes. Gonna be Landry taking the stage there. Oh wait, we're only on, 76.
Yeah, so that was the stage. We're just waiting for the caution to come out now.
Waiting for the lap drivers to make their way around.
Not really sure what's the holdup here.
I think the way iRacing is set up, the caution comes out when the 10th driver crosses. Unfortunately, the 10th driver is lapsed. Oh, contact! contact. Looks like the 51 got into the 8 out there.
Oh, well, there's a caution. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. That's last year's winner, David Owens. That car is smoking.
I think,
Look at the oil shooting out the back.
I think the 8 team started the barbecue a little too early here today. It's going to be a really tough break. There's no way that's going to be fixable. Once you start seeing that thing smoking, you know it's a day ender no matter what. So David Owens, after finishing 5th in the stage, he's at least going to get those stage points. But as soon as he pulls into his pit stall, it's going to tell him the day's over.
Are you guys ready to see that kickflip?
Is something, yeah. Yeah, let's see what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, so it looks like he hit him right in the left rear and just straight for the wall.
I think this is just the main confusion of the caution not coming out. This is pretty much, I think, what causes this whole situation. The 8 car is going very slow, expecting there to be a caution. Trying to figure out why there isn't one. The 51 was trying to maybe sneak a lap back there somewhere with those freshies, and they just met in the middle. What an unfortunate break there for the 8 car. That's going to be a day ender.
Yeah, it makes you wonder the way that the 8 bounced off of that, but the 51 didn't really move. I'm not sure. I guess when you're going that much faster than somebody, they really get the brunt of that. Really unfortunate for David. He's going to take that thing into the pit. Yeah, and I'm hearing it on the radio. They are calling it unfortunate end of the day for David Owens, especially considering that he was in 5th place at the end of the stage. So, yeah, also getting confirmation that the way iRacing works, it's waiting for the 10th car to pass, and it was waiting for them to pass on the lead lap. So, with them being a couple of laps down, it actually was waiting for them to cycle around, and that's where that confusion came from. Pit's open. Lots of cars taking this opportunity to come down and get some freshies and some fuel all the way down. Looks like Landrick take that opportunity. Modric. Up front, there are a few cars looking to do the wave around.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars taking the wave around there. You can see them all flying around right now. Looks like...
I see Medina.
Yep. There's David Medina. He's going to get back on the lead lap.
He was the lucky dog. He lucky dogged it.
Yeah, that is true. Looks like, so he got back on the lead lap. Looks like guys like Michael Sara on back there took that wave around. Very confusing. I don't know what's going on with this running order at this point. I think we're gonna have to wait for us to go back green to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, a little bit of insanity there with that last thing that just occurred. Up front, though, you can see Landry and Modric being shown on the front row. Behind them, you could see Lynott, who's a lap down. Looks like only 4 cars being shown on the lead lap at the time.
I believe that is correct.
All right. And away we go. Jason Landry with a great start. Modric gets caught with his pants down on the outside. Lets Kyle Lynott move up into the preferred lane and take over second position. Behind them, look at Jake O'Shea and Jax Duvall. They're having a little bit of a battle with each other. Remember, O'Shea so far off of the pace earlier in the race. Has that thing moving again, but O'Shea being shown 20 laps down. Duvall behind Modric is being shown 3 laps down.
This is so
lots
confusing.
of
Mean Gene.
lapped cars up at the front with speed, but because of the way that green flag was so extended, multiple cars going multiple laps down. Landry in the lead. Modric being shown in second already 1.3 and growing behind. Then David Medina back on the lead lap after that scare caution at the end of the stage. Kevin and Kyle Lynott. You know, Lynott got his lap back the old way, now being shown directly in front of leader Jason Landry. So, hey, if you stay there, you don't need to worry about a lucky dog.
Yeah, but he needs a caution to come out here. I'd say in the next 10 to 15 laps for this to matter, or else it's going to be just a moot point. He's going to use up so much of his tires to get in front of the car in order to do that he's not going to be able to get, you know, he's going to just have to be careful with his tires, right? So, you know, he's getting this bit of a gap on the Landry, but he's, you know, he's not able to, I don't think he's going to be able to hold it, if you get what I'm saying, you know, with the way the tires are.
I was not one of the guys that ran 70 laps and only had a half of a second of break off of his fastest lap, whereas Landry was. So Jason Landry, last lap, 23.69. Already you can see, even though they just did this restart, Landry 0.2 of a second slower at this stage of this tire run than he was the first tire run. Not feeling the pressure of Medina in his rear view mirror, really allowing the Canadian to adjust his driving style to preserve tires and fuel even more so. Looks like 5 cars on the lead lap, Joe, but we both know Kyle Lynott holding on by a single thread.
Yeah, it's just going to be very difficult for him. Like I was saying, just got to be careful of using up those tires. I think that's why he's going to need that caution very soon. It won't only benefit him, though. It'll benefit the guys behind him if it comes out now as well, because Kyle and I won't rely on that lucky dog. The lucky dog would instead go to Brandon Shelton, who right now is in 6th place, a lap down. So Brandon Shelton right now is the biggest cheerleader for Kyle Lynott and for a caution at the same time.
Lots of math being formulated in front of us here at the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. Lap number 90 scheduled for 200 here today, Sunday afternoon. Beautiful day here in Dover. Continuing to see this action live on the Vortex Racing Network.
Yeah, you can see it right here. Jason Landry just starting to open up that gap a little bit on 2nd place, Rick Modric, and David Medina, Kevin Kyle in 3rd and 4th. And he's also closing back up on the bumper of Kyle Lynott at this point. Got to be careful, though, of that dirty air. Make sure you don't use up the tires here at this point in the race, because it could create some issues for him then later down the road. Or he might get in the wall and give himself some damage if he's not too careful as well.
We look around the rest of the field, there's a lot of gapping going on between drivers that are on the same lap. Looks like Brandon Shelton having some excitement, getting around the 13 of Darby there. Nice and smooth, though. You see Darby go up, and that lets Shannon swing on by. Currently shown in the 6th spot. He is going to be the candidate for the lucky dog if things were to go awry here. But so far, so good here on lap number 93. Only 2 cautions so far. Not too much to worry about. Up front, though, that is wild. Look at Lynott battling as hard as he can. And now you can see Landry sneaking below him as they are running down on that stretch. I think he's going to get a great run, roll the middle. Lynott up high, and Kyle Lynott now falls back a lap down as the leader sneaks by him. Kyle gave it the old college try, Joe, but the speed of Landry just cannot be denied here today.
Yeah, that was pretty much the time slot where I thought it was going to happen. He needed that caution. I thought maybe he'd get a couple more out of it before Landry got back around him. I just think we're underestimating the pace that 56 car has, though. When I said that, Jason Landry is setting a blistering pace right now compared to everybody else. If we look at lap times by these guys, right, through the field, look at that. I don't see anybody else running a 23-second lap time that last time except Brandon Shelton there, Mean Gene.
396. There's some close guys. David Brunner with the 2411 did his best to keep it close. Brenner, of course, running in 8th place, being shown a lap down, but a little bit of speed out of that 22 Ford here today. A lot of still battling going on within that lap group. You can see there's about 6 cars that are being shown a lap down. Kyle Lanad, of course, most advantageous position up front over the other guys.
Yeah, so right now Kyle Lanat now has become the biggest cheerleader for a caution, as he's just going to try and hope that he doesn't fall back into the clutches of Brandon Sheldon. I think he's got a little bit of a gap there. You can see Sheldon coming off 4. You can see Lanat about half a straightaway in front of him. Right now, if I was Kyle, I'd just be concerned that I burned the tires off so much that Sheldon's going to be able to come back and get him back. And then if a caution came out, not only did his strategy of trying to get it back the old-fashioned way backfire, put him back a lap down, but it backfired and took him out of the lucky dog spot as well. So I think that's kind of the position Kyle is in right now.
Fortunate that he's found himself in this position, but caution could change everything and put that 988 right back on the lead lap. Doing battle. We're almost to the halfway mark here today, watching the Jason Landry show as the Canadian took over the lead. David Medina Sr. looked so strong at the beginning, got caught out of sequence on the pit cycles on lap 75, has stayed on the lead lap, only 2 seconds behind Modric out there, but 5 seconds behind Jason Landry. Again, Joe, I just can't say how well Modric looking out there here today. That guy's having a heck of a great day.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the lap times, he's staying very close right now with those guys up front. He's only 2/10 off Jason Landry's lap times right now. And he's holding on strong in 4th place, 900 number, and he's having probably by far one of the best runs here today. Definitely, I would say his best run in the league so far, and he's had a couple of good ones at this point. I know he was very fast last week at Kansas, top 10 speed as well. This week showing a little bit more pace, though, running in 2nd place.
And here's a nice battle we got going on. If you want to take it back to the 45 of Stephen Neal, you can see him and Tommy Fox racing for position. Tommy actually brought it all the way in, almost made a move on Neal. Neal came down in front of him. Not an official block, but altered the speed greatly of the 57. So good battle going on there for that 10th position. I know there's not a ton of points in between 10th and 11, Joe, but you know, you do get that mark on your stats that says top 10. That's always a nice little present.
We're going to cut you guys off right there. Something just happened about a lap or so ago. I have it ready on the replay if you guys want to see it.
Ooh, something. Looks like Tommy's going to make that move finally here.
Oh.
This is a 13 of Darby.
Oh!
No! I got whiplash.
You know,
Joe, I thought those water barrels were supposed to give.
You know, I can tell you from personal experience that if you hit one of those things, it's like hitting a brick wall, and it
Yeah, that's a concussion for sure. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Tim Darby rushed to the infield care center after making contact there. He was down under the apron, towed immediately, so no caution is going to come out on that. But whoo, that was a hard hit. Good eye there, Johnny. Ford cars on the lead lap, continuing to do battle. Looks like Medina gonna sneak by Modric. Modric held him off as long as he could, but finally the speed and persistence of the number 9 Ford gets him on by, still at that 5-second gap. Yep, good racing. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's go in there and see some cars zipping around here. We're going to do the Bonfire Racing League Crank It Up. Oh, that's going to bring us back from our Crank It Up hard racing here at Dover. As you can see how Lynott did fall back to Brandon Shelton, but then managed to pull away just a little bit again. So Shelton unable to take over that position from Lynott. Shelton is running a little bit faster than Kyle, but that is the battle for 5th place. Still 4 cars on the lead lap. Medina has managed to cut a half a second off of that Landry lead, but Jason Landry continuing to dominate here at Dover on lap number 128. Modric and Kevin Kyle both staying on the lead lap. Last lap was 0.8 of a second slower for Modric. So, Joe, that tire wear that you talked about, I think we might be seeing the 913 of Modric now starting to suffer. I think the cords are showing, Joe.
Yeah, and we're still outside the window of being able to make it to the end. We got to go another couple of laps here before pitting is really an option. I would say you got to go to at least lap 135 for it to be a reasonable decision. And with the way these tires are looking for him, it's just not looking very good. If we look at his last lap time out, it was 0.4 off, which isn't too bad, but he's fallen 12.5 seconds behind the leader. So not going very well for him right now.
No, and he might have to worry about Kevin Kyle. Kevin Kyle was about 0.3 of a second faster than Modric, and with only a 1.6 second lead over Kyle, I think that 913 might be in trouble. And he's got a whole heap of lap drivers also coming down. I see the 27 there of Michael Serra, the 988. I'm sorry, the 846 of Gambrel. And then that's Kevin Kyle, who's actually on the lead lap. 3rd car in that little group, that yellow one. And behind him as well, I think that would be David Brenner. So lots of action quickly coming up on the 913 of Modric.
Yeah, look at that. 31 is getting closer and closer to him. He's right in front of him.
Sarah off pace.
Yeah, Sarah's struggling a lot. He's in 9th place, 2 laps down. I think it might be about time for him to pit. Yeah, here he comes.
Yeah, he wanted out of that hot mess. Why not? You're losing speed of the cars around you, and you notice that you're a second down. Bring it in. Why risk blasting another tire? Who knows what kind of damage that could cause?
Exactly.
Yep, still 4.6 seconds between Medina and Landry. And now looks like Modric slowly gonna be drawn into the grasp of Kevin Kyle. Gambrel separating them. That's that 846 Alley car.
Yep, and it looks like I just saw Brandon Sheldon come down pit road there as well. So he's going to take this opportunity to come and take freshies and everything.
It's a good move there by Brandon Shelton. He was a 24.23, only 2/100ths of a second off of Landry's pace. So why not bring it in, get you 4 fresh ones, get back out there quick. The way this thing's been running green here for a while, get the increased speed by short pitting your opponents. And at lap 135, Joe, that's, still another 66 laps to go. I think I might smell another pit stop just for tires in between here.
Yeah, I think with the way the tires are, I'm not worried about fuel at this point. I'd be worried about tires.
Nobody wants that blast, and losing a second a lap, you could justify, I would think, coming down and doing it after a 35 lap run. that pretty much is going to make up that distance there. So Shelton going to come back out in ninth also, just to show you how skewed this thing got with cars being put a lap down. That's the advantage of being the leader on the lead lap, is once you put a few guys laps down, they're not going anywhere. You get a guy 2 laps down, he's got all those cars in front of him. You simply just don't even need to worry about that guy for the rest of the race. Ooh, a lot of speed there, Landry zipping around. Oh, looks like Florida Man going to take a little visit down in the pit.
Yeah, he was already multiple laps down. He's going to come pit and going to fall even more laps down here. So right now, the way this is running, looks like, you know, the top 4 still haven't pitted. It's so hard to tell with all these cars a lap down. So the top 8 still haven't pitted. So where they're running right now is on no pitting yet, not making their last pit stop. Brandon Shelton's the first guy that made any sort of a pit stop right now. He's 3 laps down in 9th. Speaking of guys making pit stops, Rick Modric, the last guy on the lead lap in 4th, just came down pit road here this time.
I think that's a good move. Again, he's going to short pit his opponents. If I'm one of the drivers out there, I am assuming that I'm going to need to pit again for tires. So why not come down now, get the tires here on 144. You still got 58 laps to go, and then you could come down in another 25 to 30. Maybe just take right sides, depending on how that wear is going. And that'll at least let you keep that speed. Last lap there, 24-22 by Landry. You can see a 23:59 by Brandon Shelton. So already a half a second faster with those fresh tires is Brandon Shelton.
Yeah, so the tires, they don't really wear too badly though. So here comes Landry this time. So what I was about to say is it's not that the tires, like the times really fall off. It's more about the wear of the tires, right? So I think going longer here, you know, from Landry, from Medina, from Kevin Kyle, is more of a strategy of, all right, we can give up a little bit of time on the short end to guys like Shelton. But on the back end, our tires aren't going to fall apart on us before the race ends. And that's going to be what matters at the end.
So David Medina is going to assume the lead from Jason Landry, with Medina taking over the lead. Only 2 cars on the lead lap. Kevin Kyle, 14.5 seconds behind Medina. Here comes Medina down into the pits now. Going to turn the lead over to Kevin Kyle. Of course, no points are awarded for leading a lap, so it's a small victory, but hey, you're on the lead lap and now you're being shown in first. Take a picture.
Yeah, it's something for David Medina here, of course, it comes to pit to give that lead over to Kevin Kyle. Right now, the guys that I'm really looking out that need that caution more than even Kevin Kyle does is Kyle Anott, who's going to be back on the lead lap, half a lap down right now from this, and Ricky Mandela, who also would be back on the lead lap if a caution came out right now. So those two would be the biggest benefactors to a caution, and it would actually flip the script to where I think, mattering where Medina comes out, I think there'd only be 3 cars on the, yeah, there's only going to be 3, well, never mind. Here comes Lennart Mandela, so you can scratch that.
Well, I see where you're going with that, and of course that is a great idea. The concern would be, though, the tires just falling straight off the car. That is going to mean only Kevin Kyle is out there off that old set of tires. He last pitted on 79, so he's got about 70 laps of tires. You can see Gambrill going to zip right on by him. Gambrill, of course, he did pit back on 139, so he's got those fresh tires on there right now, just 11 laps of wear.
Yeah, as we watch here, Kevin Kyle, he's got the whole field a lap down right now. Landry and Medina, the only guys 1 lap down right now. Everybody else is 2+ laps down. I mean, have you ever seen that before, Mean Gene?
I don't know. I'm not an elephant. I can't remember back that far. Kevin Kyle would love a caution right now to solidify his spot up there. You saw the speed difference, the way Gambrel shot by him as well. So those laps gonna tick off. Here he comes, Kevin Kyle. Discretion, the better part of valor. Why not? Oh, what a great entrance there by the 31.
Yeah, good entry onto pit road for him. It is very slow going down pit road, so you can just see how much he's just cruising around the track right now. And we look back out there, you know, we're going to see where Jason Landry comes out in relation. Oh, I think we may have a caution.
Landry topped the pace. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what happened there, but we got a caution here in the middle of the pit cycle. This is going to create some serious chaos for where everybody's going to line up.
Yep, Landry creeping there, letting the pace car catch up. There we go.
Okay, I have that ready for you guys.
There we go.
Little bit of detective work. But we have Eric Gambrel coming in to the front stretch, and so you can see that little slide right there.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wow, good save. The tires hate him, but that could have been worse.
And luckily, no one was there to get caught up by it. Yeah.
Well, a little bit of a break in the green flag racing there. Also, Joe, this caution brought to you by Todd Dunn.
Yeah. That. Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
This caution is he's our sponsor, so he didn't cause the caution, but he paid for it. Todd Dunn.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. You know what? Mean Gene?
What do you got?
Let me see if I can figure out how to get that bad boy in here real quick for you. I knew there was something I forgot to do.
All right, so Kevin Kyle going to be shown as your leader. He did pit on 151, so he's going to have some of the freshest tires out there and maintains the lead. Behind him, you can see Jason Landry, even though Landry is way ahead. Here we go. Landry now shooting around the track.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know what's going to happen with this running order. No clue.
No, I think iRacing is iRacing's having a problem figuring it out themselves. So lots of people zipping around that pace car right now. Looks like first car up under, it's going to be Kevin Kyle. Yep. And now the pace car goes. Order is all crazy. Looks like Kyle's the leader. The 51 just goes. No one does. iRacing having issues. 51 pulls out of the way. You can see Kyle and Landry. Looks like Modric is up there with them as well. Two cars on the lead lap. Another caution coming out. And hey, this caution brought to you by our sponsor, Todd Dunn. Thank you. Thank you, Todd Dunn, for your sponsorship of the cautions. Hey, he didn't cause this caution, but he paid for it. Todd Dunn, thank you, brother. So a little bit of craziness out there as iRacing trying to figure out that running order. That was a little wild. Everybody was spread out. We saw just a lap earlier. All those cars went by the pace car. For whatever reason, a few of them stopped behind the pace car. It looks like the cutoff was around the 16th position, as the 51 was on the front row with Kevin Kyle. Kyle didn't go. The 51 did. Got a penalty for passing the leader. And now under caution, we seem to be getting this thing lined back up. I am ready.
All right, so I think this is gonna work. We're about to find out, guys.
Hey!
I did it! I got it to work!
Look at that. Graphics brought to you by Kevin Kyle and Smokin' Joe.
Thanks, Kevin. I got it to work, so let's go.
All right, I got something for you guys.
Oh, really? Do you know what caused
Yeah.
that caution?
I believe so. With this whole mumbo jumble of cars everywhere, I think I got it. So we're looking at the 27 here. It looks like he was parked on the side waiting for them to come by. And then right when he comes up, just loses it.
Oh my goodness! Look at the chaos it creates, though. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh!
Is that Medina?
That
Yeah,
was Tommy Fox.
Tommy Fox. Medina's down there. You see him down there, Johnny?
Yeah.
Medina's right there, yes.
Oh! Oh my God!
Oh,
Well, you know, Todd Dunn may not have caused it, but he was involved in it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that gives us some good context for what just
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Thanks. Good eye there, Johnny.
that was the most confusing detective work I ever had to do.
Just keep going backwards. Okay, this looks like a restart now, boys. Look at that. Everybody's paced up. You got Kevin Kyle on the inside with that 31. He is the control car. Outside him, Jason Landry. Second row, you can see you got Modric. He is in the 913 on the inside. And then Jake Shea on the outside of him. Jose Medina, Brandon Shelton, Stephen Neal, Kyle Lanai. Creeping around, away we go. What a jump. There by Kevin Kyle. Landry basically allowed him to control it and run away to avoid any type of caution or black flag situation. Great start there by Kevin Kyle, off to a half-second lead. Behind him, Jason Landry, then Modric. Behind Modric, you can see the lapped car of Joe Vulpes. Oh, I'm sorry, Modric's in the back. Vulpes is in the back as well. A lot of confusion here with these lapped cars.
A lot of stuff
Yes.
going on.
Paul Ferdiani is the third car in line. Ferdiani, of course, he is being shown in 12th spot. Only 4 laps down, Joe.
I don't know what to say at this point. Honestly, I think the least confusing thing to watch right now is actually the battle for the lead, unfortunately. But fortunately, I guess. I wish we could really like highlight the rest of the field, but it's so confusing.
Well,
figure out.
Selden and Lanat's a pretty good battle.
Well, I guess
That's
that's
for position.
There you go. There's a straightforward battle. Good job. Good eye, Mean Gene. There's not really a lot of them right now because everybody's multiple laps down on different laps. I don't know who's battling who anymore.
Well, this is a battle for sure. These two guys have been smelling each other's paint all day. And now finally, Lynott on the inside, gonna take a look, gonna make the pass, slide up on him, Kyle. That's how you do it. Brandon gonna come back down low on that backstretch. He tries to ride the apron. Look, come on, Lynott, you know how to block him. And there it is, slams it down in front of the 2. Great racing there by the 988 and the 2. That is for 4th position.
Man, I don't know. Kevin Kyle's going to have his hands full here to hold on to the lead from Jason Landry. Look at him making that move on the inside.
Yeah, Jason Landry rolling it around, trying to find a better line. That outside lane, though, has such great momentum. You can see Kevin Kyle not willing to throw it in. Still 37 laps remaining here in the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. Battling hard into turn number 3. Landry on the inside. Finally, you can see the 31 of Kevin Kyle losing a little bit of momentum. That's going to allow Landry to take over. Kyle's got to get a run. Landry a little high coming out of that turn. Here comes Kevin Kyle again. Woo. They're battling, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here. I think on the short run, Kevin Kyle might be a little bit better than Landry. I think he just caught him napping pretty much, trying to save those tires. On the long run, though, that's where Landry was making his bread and butter happen. So I think if Kevin wants to win this, he's going to have to either A, apply the most pressure that Jason Landry's felt all day, or B, he's going to have to get back around him here and use all
Put him in the wall.
Well, I mean, you could do that too. That works. You could always try the Denny Hamlin strategy. I mean, that's a bona fide way to make yourself win a race, right? Right, Minji? Oh!
Gets in the back of Kevin Kyle.
Yeah,
Woo,
yeah.
They're having fun up front.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to block and fight for his life in order to win this thing, I think. He's going to have to find a way to put so much dirty air and hold off that 56 for so long that he just wears his tires out, which is a very, very, very tall task to hold off somebody like Jason Landry. Oh, my.
And they get together. Look at that. Lynott zips by. Ferdy Annie. Here comes Shelton and Gambrill now. That was a brown pants moment, Joe.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I really don't know what these guys were thinking right there. It was very scary to watch what was going to happen there with everybody. However, it worked out in everybody's favor. We stay green.
Good racing still going on up front. Kyle and Landry trying to figure out their battle. Rick Modric in third he's kind of toward the middle of the field, but with no competition out there, he's having a good one. Kyle Lynott, David Medina, both being shown ahead of the leaders right now, putting them back on the lead lap, but they're just barely ahead of the 31 of Kyle. Then Shelton, David Brenner, Rick Mandela, those fellas being shown just one lap down. Then let's go to 3 laps down. Duval, Sarah, Tommy Fox, Eric Gambrill. So lots of cars spread out. Luckily for us, we still have that great battle. Now look at Shelton and Landry side by side. They're not on the same lap, but those guys will race each other hard. Here comes Gambrill into the picture right behind Brandon Shelton. Gonna take a peek down low. He's got that car rolling, and it looks like the 846 is gonna sneak right in front of the 2 of Shelton.
Yeah, so I expected maybe Kevin Kyle to get a little bit of help from his Fulcrum teammate Brandon Shelton right there, but Shelton did the honorable thing, let the 56 go back around him. So Kevin Kyle there is going to be back to battling the 56 all on his own here with only 27 to go. You say only 27 to go, right? But 27 laps here is a very long time to try and hold somebody off, especially when they're as good on tires as Jason Landry.
That's what I was wondering. 7 lap pressure tires. has the number 31 of Kevin Kyle, but it's slowly breaking back down so where they're on even footing. And at that point, you have to fear the speed of the 56. Look at him creeping up on Kevin right there on that lap. Actually, 7/100ths of a second faster was Jason Landry that last lap. Landry now trying different lanes, trying to diamond that turn. And look at this run of the 56.
Yep, here we go. He's going to try and dive it down the inside, do what he did earlier. I do think if Kevin can't hold him off this time, that this is going to be the race right here. I don't think Kevin's going to have enough left in the tank to make a move without a caution from here on out. So he's got to fight for his life. If he can hold on to the lead here, though, it's going to give him a lot more hope down the stretch, and I don't think he's going to get it done here.
Finally makes the pass, does Landry. Holding on now, moving a little bit further away from Kevin Kyle is the 56. Landry assumes the lead here on lap number 177. 3 cars on the lead lap close. Lynott and Medina just barely ahead of Jason Landry here on the track. Then you can see Shelton Brenner behind him and Rick Mandela as well. Those 3 cars, 6, 7, and 8, trying to battle only 1 lap down. As far as the other battles on the track, I'm searching for cars close to each other that are on the lead lap.
Oh, well, I mean, you got... It looks like Medina got back on the lead lap finally here. He's, if you haven't noticed that, Mean Gene, he's right behind Kyle.
Yeah, they're ahead of the leaders. So they're close to each other.
Yeah,
Kyle fading a little bit.
Trying to see it. I'm trying to help you out. I'm looking myself. I think this is the closest battle. This is the closest battle on the track. Is the one for 4th right here.
Look at Brandon Shelton giving a tap to his teammate there, trying to get him to go faster. It's like, get up there, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think that's really going to work at this kind of a racetrack. I do applaud the sentiment, but I don't think it's going to work here.
Yeah. Jake Ashea back up to speed. Good for him.
Unfortunately,
shown in 18th place.
Yeah, he is 24 laps down. Volpus also back up to pace. He got his car fixed as well, but he's 16 down. So those two, it took him too long to get everything fixed to be competitive again.
Yeah. You gotta hate that.
Hate to see it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. That's Volpus there. Yep.
Well, you know what, Mean Gene, here is as these laps wind down, I might as well give you a little football news for everybody out there as we watch Landry lead this race. You know what team's been really good this season so far is the Indianapolis Colts. They're Mean
right.
They're cooking again here today. They're absolutely walloping the Raiders right now, 26-3. I just saw the alert come across my phone as I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys wallop the Jets at the moment, so that's pretty painful to see.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor having a great game. Look at those fantasy points. You gotta love having Jonathan Taylor in your lineup. I know I do.
You know what else you gotta love is that the Houston Texans learned how to play football again today. 34-3 on the Ravens. They're stuffing Derrick Henry right now.
Well, I think we both know without Lamar Jackson, it was going to be an uphill battle for Baltimore. And that defense simply has not shown up this year. Baltimore's signature defense has just been lacking. It's going to really affect them having any kind of playoff run.
All right, well, quick little sports break right there. I want to give a shout out to a couple guys in the top 10 here right now that are having some really good runs once again. Starting off with 3rd place, Rick Modric. He's right now your 2nd biggest mover of the race. He's up from 15th all the way up to 3rd. What a great performance from him today if he's able to hold on to this to the finish. Congratulations to him as long as he's able to... Oh, it looks like Jake O'Shea might be done for the day down there. I don't know if you saw that, Mean Gene. It's going to not be a caution, though, so Jake O'Shea
I got it ready for you if you want to see it.
Going to get 18th here today. So we'll come back to doing some shout-outs here after we see what happened to our boy Jake O'Shea in that number 77. And you know what, Mean Gene? This is what happens when you don't drive a Pennzoil car, right?
You know, Jake had that Pennzoil, ran that top 5.
Oh my
got rid of that
goodness.
scheme.
You see that? I think he went across.
Tommy right there.
I think he went across those bumps wrong. Yeah, he just got on the transition wrong there, Mean Gene. Just across the. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So pretty much what happened there is what you saw in the. You remember the restart at the start where everybody hit that transition and flew up into the wall? Well, Jake O'Shea did it right there at 150 miles an hour.
Manages to get her back under control, get it into the pits. But looks like that might be the end of the day for him. And hey, why not? You know, there's 12 laps to go. He's 10 laps ahead of Gerald Rose, who's also been black flag DQ'd, so that guy's not going to catch you. And he's 21 laps behind Joe Volpus, who's still running. So hey, park it.
Exactly.
Go get a soft drink or whatever beverage you like to watch football.
There you go.
Up front, Jason Landry continuing to run strong, 3.86 seconds. You can see Medina and Lynott still doing battle in front of him. Medina and Lynott are on the lead lap because they are ahead of Landry, but without a caution, they are simply not going to be able to get back into this battle.
So yeah, gave a shout out to Modric. So let me finish a couple other shout outs that I wanted to do. 8th place right now, Ricky Mandela Sr. Another top 10 run going for him here. If he's able to complete this here to the finish, that's 4 top 10s and 4 starts for him. So that's a great start to his season. Doing really good here. Consistent out of the gate. Showing a lot of speed, showing a lot of consistency. Things went a little bit differently, maybe a couple little better finishes than in a couple of these races, but Ricky Mandela doing a great job. And the other guy I want to shout is the guy that's running directly in front of him on the track right now. That's Michael Sara. He's had a really rough day, getting into the wall a few times, having some issues on the initial start, other restarts as well. But he's been able to troop this out, and he's got a top 10 position right now here with just a few laps left. So Michael Sara doing a great job just to troop out the race, do what he can. And if he can come away with a 10th place finish, I think that's going to be a personal victory for him with the way that this race went for him.
Yeah, Mike having a good run. You can see 2 cars behind him. Tommy Fox is on the same lap. Tommy trying to chase him down a little bit faster. That last lap was the 57, then the 27 of Sarah. They've got Mandela in between them, who's a lap ahead, but that's something that might develop over the next 8 laps as well, is the 57 trying to chase down Michael Sara.
Yeah, looking at it, it looks like David Medina Sr. finally got around Kyle Lynott for 4th place. And speaking of Kyle Lynott, I think he fell back into the grasps of your leader, Jason Landry. Yeah, you can see he's right in front of him. Here's the laps wind down. So we take a quick look here at the race recap here with 3 to go. Only 6 lead changes today. And look at this, Landry's going to lead over half the race here if there's no cautions.
Jason Landry looked so strong early on in the race, turned it over to David Medina Sr. for a little bit. David getting caught on the wrong end of a pit cycle on the caution on lap 75. And now Landry just flexing. He wanted this win so bad, Joe. You think about what happened to Jason last year, led 115, but got caught by David Owens. This year leads the most laps once again, but looking strong, minus a bad break. This should be Jason Landry's lap.
Well, there you go, white flag. So next flag ends the race pretty much. All he's got to do is just bring it around here down the back stretch, back around, and complete this lap. And that's going to be a Jason Landry victory here at Dover.
Yeah, not even going to try to get by Kyle Lynott. No need for that. Going to bring it around turn number 4. And your winner here today, Jason Landry, picking up his second win of the year. Jason Landry, he won last week at Kansas, doubles down, repeat, gets him another one here today at Dover at the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. Congratulations to the 56 of Jason Landry. Second place gonna be Kevin Kyle. Great run by the Folcom driver. Rick Modric gonna finish on the podium. Really great day by the 913 privateer of Modric. David Medina holds on, does finish on the lead lap for 4th place. Kyle Lynott as well on the lead lap, gonna be 5th. And here comes a good time. Brandon Shelton a lap down in 6th. David Brenner gonna finish 7th. Didn't mention David very much, showed some good speed, had a little bit of incidents, getting him a lap down, holds on for that strong 7th, Joe. 8th place, Rick Mandela Sr. continues his assault of top 10s. 9th, gonna be new captain of the Florida Man Racing, Jax Duvall. And Michael Serra holds on to the charge of Tommy Fox at the end to finish in the top 10. Tommy Fox gonna finish in 11th. Started last, finishes up in 11th, just behind the top 10. Teammates Eric Gambrell and Jose Medina, both 4 laps down, 12 and 13. Paul Ferdiani going to bring the Plus EV Racing 33 home in 4th. And Stephen Neal going to round out our top 15, 5 laps down in the number 45 Toyota.
Rounding out the rest of the field, you see Wayne Newman was able to get his car back rolling, get 16th. Same with Volpus in 17th. Everybody else here DNF'd at the end of the day.
Whoa.
So that would be Jake Ashay in 18th DNF, Jerry Rose 19th DNF, 20th Todd Dunn DNF, 21st Tim Darby DNF, and 22nd David Owens DNF for all those boys here today. So a lot of craziness here today. Man, I can't believe everything that happened. So as we see Landry celebrate, I do think we're going to have a statement from him about his win today. I think me and Gene, though, we got our 2nd place finisher down there that's ready to have a little conversation with us there.
All right, let's hit some buttons and pull him in. All right, there's button number 1. And now, here's button number 2. Kevin Kyle, you got 3 wide up in the booth, bud. Can you hear us?
Hey, hey, hello.
There he is, Kevin Kyle, bringing it home in 2nd. Tell you what, bud, you were having a great battle with Landry there for a little bit.
Yeah. I guess, it is what it is. Gotta beat the best to be the best.
There was a moment where we were talking about what it was going to take for the 31 to take home that victory. Some of it involved blocking, some of it involved aero, and some of it might have been me saying it might have involved use of the front bumper. Were there all those options running through your head throughout the end of this race?
Yeah, I mean, I try to I know Landry, it's just more of it slipping through my hands at the end is what I'm having a hard time with. Like, I had the tire advantage and wasn't able to hold him off, and that's my fault. He should have never been able to get close to me, and I let him get close to me, and then I had to battle him. And that's where I think, all that other stuff is just part of racing. He likes to send it in, and he couldn't. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I blocked him. He sent it in. It's all right. But yeah, I'm not going to try to get underneath the guy and turn him on the left rear quarter fender. But I mean, rear quarter fender. But hey, it is what it is. And yeah, look forward to next week at Chicagoland, man.
Great run here today, Kevin. And also, that's going to put you up atop of the regular season standings. You're going to have a 10-point lead over David Medina Sr. Great start to this year for you. You got 4 top 10s, and guess what? You got 4 top 5s as well. Knocking hard on that door. How do you like next week's track?
I like Chicagoland a lot. It goes to my strengths. I like running the high line, so that's going to be fun there at Chicagoland. So just got to keep it clean. That's been a big focus of these races, is just trying to stay out of trouble. As you saw, got mired back on that first lap incident. Started back in the rear and then just got, I don't know how I did it, worked my way through. A lot of help from Team Folcom though. Brandon, I know Brandon felt bad for getting into me there, but no worries. We just looked forward and we all had a decent day after all that. And then Chicagoland, looking forward to it a lot. And then the point lead doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I need a win to even then I can care about the points. But right now, that win is the only thing that's important to me right now. And yeah, I'll get there eventually.
There he is, Kevin Kyle. The Folcom focus is on the dub. Kevin, knocking on the door so close today. The runs that you've had this year, I think it's inevitable that you're going to be battling for those wins week after week as we move forward. Who do you want to give a shout out to here today? Second place finisher, Kevin Kyle.
Yeah, Team Folcom. I want to give a shout out to the Chevrolet of the Turning Point USA Chevrolet. Shout out to those guys for getting me the ride this season, and also to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Can't do it without him, helping me get through these difficult weeks we've had here at the family. But glad to go out there on track and race for his glory. And just thank you to you guys. Appreciate you guys putting in the time in. I know it's a lot of racing on a Sunday morning, and it takes a lot of dedication on your guys' parts to be here and do this for us. So appreciation for all that. And yeah, man, thank you for the interview. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Kevin Kyle, he almost got her done. I'll tell you, though, Joe, Jason Landry, just such a fast guy. You got to be thrilled to be up there in the chase with him at the end. But you could taste it. You could hear just a little bit of that bitter pill that Kevin had with that tire advantage. I think that's just going to power him to practice more and just be faster next time he's on that track. Next time at Chicagoland.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I got our statement from our winner since he couldn't join us here in the booth here for the interview.
Can you read it with a Canadian accent?
Listen.
No, don't do
it. You want me to try and read with an accent?
it.
All right.
Is reading hard?
Reading is hard when you're reading a Discord message on your phone. All the words kind of start jumbling together after a while.
Oh, okay.
When you're staring at a screen for so long, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. From Jason Landry, your winner here today. What a tough race. I was happy with that first stint, just sitting behind Medina and Vulpes. They had great pace, but I wasn't sure if they were saving or not. Because of the incident at the start, I noticed a lot of the super fast guys were far behind, so I decided to save hard fast and slowly save a bit less as I started to go longer into the stint. Vulpes unfortunately hit the wall, but that gave me a position, and then I started pushing to catch Medina a bit, but lap cars got in the way, and then I just backed off and saved more again. Medina did pit, so he says Medina pits before the stage, so I knew I had the stage win in hand. On the restart, I noticed that Kyle Lannott was not on the same lap, so I just let him go and tried to save tires during the whole stint. I had a 5-second gap to Medina most of the run, so I just relaxed up front. Going in for the last pit stop, I didn't want Medina to get any sort of an undercut, so I risked it and pit a little bit earlier than I wanted to or needed to make sure that I kept a bigger gap. He kept a bigger gap. Unfortunately, a caution came out while Kevin was still a lap ahead, so he ended up taking the wave around, while Medina pitted by accident, not noticing they were a lap down. From there, it was between himself, as in Landry, and Kevin, and those two fought really hard. He said that Kevin fought like a gladiator. One point he blocked really late, and it almost wrecked the both of us into the wall at the back straight. And then a few laps later, I got into the back of him, and he got loose. I backed off right away and made sure he was okay before we continued racing. And as I didn't want to win like that, we resumed the hard fight, but luckily he burned his tires a bit more than I did, and I was able to get by eventually. Feels good to finally win at Dover. I've been close so many times. For shoutouts, he wants to thank his teammate Paul for talking out the race and the strategy. Thanks to the broadcast, as usual. It's always fun to catch up on how the race went with other people. And thanks to the admins for putting this on. That is your winner today, Jason Landry here at Dover.
Jason Landry, 2 wins on the year. Pickett is punched to the playoffs, and now he continues to move up that leaderboard. Remember, he missed the opener at Kentucky, but already moving up 8 last week, moving up 5 this week. Now, 5th place, only 28 points behind current points leader Kevin Kyle. I know Kevin said consistency's fine and being at the top is fine. He wants the win, but hey, you know, that regular season championship definitely worth something. Maybe a little wood trophy from KK Woodscapes. Hey, let's take a little peek at the points for the team, Joe. You got those team standings?
Yeah, so there was a bit of a shakeup today in the team standings as
Yeah,
well.
shake them up.
With David Buell being on vacation, that meant Animal House Customs Racing did not have their 4th car out on the track, which put them at a disadvantage already. On top of that, they had some troubles as a team. The only car able to get a good finish out of it was Ricky Mandela. Stephen Neal ended up multiple laps down in the mid-teens. Same with Vulpes, ended up all those laps down as well. So not a good points day from the guys that were able to show up today from Animal House Customs. It meant that the sheer numbers of Gulf Coast Racing were able to overtake them. As the quiet runs from David Brenner, Kyle Lynott, and of course Tommy Fox were able to overtake them. And David Owens being in the race as well was a big help getting those stage points for the team as well. So they were able to overtake him there, Mean Gene. But a huge gap right now for Fokum at this point in the season.
See Fokum with that 529 accumulated points, 80 points ahead. And then a nice 2-point battle going on between Gulf Coast Racing and Animal House Customs Racing, just separated by a couple. Then a huge gap back down to 4th. But then, hey, look at 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those 3 teams all separated by just 7 points. Florida Man Racing, Ignition Point Racing, they overtake Pony Up Motorsports, and then those 3 all very tight. The thing about Ignition Point is with the one less driver, you can see not having as many opportunities to accumulate points, only 20 races for them. That, of course, is the team of Landry, Kelly, and Ferdiani. Did hear rumors of them trying to poach a top driver from another team, but I don't have enough to confirm or deny that story, Joe. Maybe later we can get more info about that. But good points racing. Fokum, of course, knocking on the door at the top of these points standings for the teams. Joe, that is going to ring us up from Dover. Today, we saw Jason Landry take the win at the First Responders Children's Foundation 200. Great action on the track. Great day of racing in NASCAR as well today, as the boys will do battle in the playoffs at the Charlotte Roval. Can't wait to see how many laps Van Ginsbergen wins by. Maybe he'll lap up to 4th place today as well. On behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, Smoking Joe, Johnny Replay, all of our sponsors, want to thank Brandon Shelton with the First Responders Children Foundation, Jason Landry with Simration Nation, and Todd Dunn for sponsoring our cautions today. Also want to give a shout out to all the admins of the Bonfire Race League who make this possible, all the drivers, and hey, all of you at home that join us each week for some of the finest racing here on the network. Speaking of the network, we're going to be live all week long on the Vortex Racing Network. You can catch us tomorrow night with the Moonlight Racing League. Monday Night Mayhem going to be live. Tuesday, we're going to be bringing you Big Truckin' Tuesday. Wednesday, the DDI Race League. Thursday, Thriller Series on Thursday. And that is 5 nights a week that you can catch all of your iRacing speed needs here on the Vortex Racing Network. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.